Reports have been received recently that Donald Trump has invited Field Marshal Asim Munir to the White House for lunch, and maybe he will also be attending the military parade in Washington. Now, all this is part of the United States attempts to pressurize India to play ball, attempts to pressurize India not to get too close to Russia, China, and to not purchase any Russian military equipment and buy instead the American F-35 stealth fighters. The simple fact is that the United States is not offering us transfer of technology. It will not share the source codes, which we found a problem with the Rafales. We could not mount our indigenous beyond visual range Astra missiles and BrahMos cruise missiles on the Rafale because they did not share the source codes, and therefore we suffered. We paid a heavy price for these aircraft, and yet we could not use them to the optimum because of that unwillingness to share source code. So the same problem, and in a more magnified form, will come with the American F-35s. The American F-35s come with a huge price tag, number one. Number two, the maintenance costs are terribly high because stealth paint gets eroded. It has to be repainted, recoated. Most of the time these will be in hangar. And the other fact is that India will have limited control over these planes because America would want to know where they are being based, where they are being sighted. It will want oversight. Where they are being used, America will have vetoes. So it would be very strange if we can't use them against Pakistan. What the hell are we buying the planes for then? So there are basic questions of national interest which cannot be wished away. So quite obviously India has not been too keen at all to accept the F-35 deal, and actually no concrete offers have been made so far which India can consider, evaluate. I mean, it's not just on a verbal commitment that you can go in for these kind of deals. These entail billions of dollars of expenditure. So India has to make a very considered decision, and the decision India has made is we can't kill our own homegrown AMCA. We will damn well go in for it, and as an interim measure, if we are forced, we may have to accept one or two squadrons of fighters. There the Su-57 offers a much better deal. They are prepared to share technology, they are prepared for local manufacture, they are prepared to transfer technology, share source codes. So, I mean, they are giving us all that we want, and yet just because they are Russian and that would make the Americans unhappy, we can't mortgage our national interests in that manner. We can't be bullied in that manner also. I think America has to make allowance for India, has to act in its national interest and not just in the national interest of the United States. We are, after all, not the 51st state of the United States, and I don't think we ever will be. So America has used pressure tactics. It has used the India-Pakistan binary to try and apply pressure on India. I think it may be a mistake. No other country is so hated in India as Pakistan is. Pakistan has waged 5 conventional wars against India. Pakistan has waged continuous asymmetric wars against India for 30 to 40 years non-stop. It is the biggest pain in the neck as far as India is concerned. And if the United States wants to cozy up to Pakistan, it will be construed as a very hostile gesture in India. It would be back to the Cold War era when Richard Nixon had sent the 7th Fleet to prevent the breakup of Pakistan, to help India, to help Pakistan against India. Even the 7th Fleet could not save Pakistan then, and Pakistan was broken in two. For all its hubris, for all its one-upmanship, Pakistan had to suffer that humiliation, and the United States was not able to save it. Now, for the United States to align itself back with Pakistan, I think would be a tragic mistake. I am very certain that there is enough computation power in the United States, in its think tanks, in its administration, to work out the vis-a-vis value of relationships with India or with Pakistan, right? And if the United States chooses India over Pakistan, it's welcome to its choice. Pakistan is a failing state. It's almost a failed state. It's on the brink of failure. It is a state in economic chaos and turmoil. It is a state where the military overspends to the extent of destroying the state, destroying its economic basis, right? It is a state which is riven by civil war and internal conflict. And if the United States chooses to back this up against India, which is the fourth largest economy in the world, India is also a nuclear power, and India is also a nuclear and space power of consequence. It is a major military power. The choice is America. The raison d'etre for the reset between relations between India and America was primarily based upon a jointly perceived threat from China, which was the rising new superpower on the bloc, which was asserting its military power in a very aggressive manner in all its borderlands, whether in South China Sea, whether against Taiwan, whether against India in Ladakh and Arunachal and elsewhere. Chinese have been getting very aggressive, and this is what had forced India to bandwagon with the United States to contain the power of a hostile and increasingly aggressive China. Even the United States was finding China as the major threat. All that changed in the era of Joe Biden. Joe Biden stopped the pivot to Asia. He pivoted right back to Europe. He said, to hell with China, it is the Russians who are my major enemies, and I am going to destroy the Russian economy. I am going to fight Russia to the last Ukrainian. I am going to bleed Russia to death. These were very fanciful ambitions. I am afraid all of them have been belied. Russia has emerged economically and militarily much stronger from this conflict than it was in 2022. And it is Ukraine which is close to collapse. Donald Trump in the meantime came. He wanted to pivot back to Asia. He considered China its main threat, and therefore he decided to cut this needless war in Ukraine, to wash off America's hands from the Russia-Ukraine war, and he wanted a period of peace, quiet and consolidation. That was his grand strategy. But 6 months into his regime, we see his grand strategy faltering. He has not been able to bring peace in Russia, Ukraine, nor in the Middle East. Then he made an attempt to foist peace between India and Pakistan, and that also seems to have backfired a bit, because his staff just failed to inform him of the background situation in South Asia. It is a blood insult to equate India with Pakistan. No government, and the people of India primarily, would be extremely het up if there was any sense to any attempt to create moral equivalence, strategic or economic equivalences, and hyphenate India and Pakistan once again. I thought we had gone far beyond that hyphenation, and for America to forget so much of history, recent history, and act as if India and Pakistan are equals. Moral equivalence in the context of terrorism is horrible. America is supporting Israel all out because there it sees a terrorist Iran and its terror proxies, and quite rightly it has weighed in very strongly towards Israel. Why does the same logic not apply to India? That means it is okay if Indian lives are lost. If it is okay if there is mass murder in India carried out by Pakistan, but Pakistan is a great nation. Pakistan's military de facto ruler is now being invited to the White House. It's quite an unprecedented situation. It is understandable. We understand that the United States is trying to show India its place, that if you don't play ball with us, we'll get Pakistan to play ball. They've always played ball, they just want the money and free weapons, etc. And they are willing to fight anybody they are paid to fight. So, well, the basic premise is well understood, it is common sense premise, but here is a premise which America is failing to factor in the heavy cultural baggage that is involved in the India-Pakistan relationship. No nation is hated as much in India by the Indian people as Pakistan. The government of India may from time to time try and talk peace, but they have been stabbed in the back every time. And for America to have a dalliance with Pakistan at a time when Pakistan has just struck India, yet another terror strike, inviting the Operation Sindoor in retaliation, is, I think, very wrong timings. Very, very wrong, misplaced timings, which could send very wrong messages, especially to the people of India. And I think any government in India at the end of the day has to be sensitive to the wishes of the people of India. They cannot ignore Indian public opinion. And the surest way to bias Indian public opinion against the United States is for the United States to have a very strong friendship, try and create a strong friendship with Pakistan. Well, in that case, we may not want your friendship, because it cannot be at the cost of Indian sovereignty, Indian strategic autonomy. India highly prizes these. India has resisted all attempts at curtailing its freedom of choice, and India will continue to do so. And by the way, India is not a banana republic. It is not Haiti or some banana republic in the Pacific. It is the fourth largest economy in the world, heading for the third place. It is a military power of consequence, it is a space power of consequence, it is a nuclear power. So, for the United States to try and hyphenate India and Pakistan once again, I think would be a tragic mistake, because it could just well have the opposite effect of that which the United States is hoping for. The United States is hoping that its dalliance with Pakistan will force India to play ball, buy American weapons, and try and compete with Pakistan in trying to serve American interests. I'm sorry, India is not keen to enter into such a competition with Pakistan. Who can serve American interests better? I think our primacy is Indian interests, and if Donald Trump wants to make America great again, the Indians want to see India great again. So I think Donald Trump would have to bear that in mind, that in trying to play the Pakistan card, and this afternoon, before he invited Mullah Munir to the White House for lunch, a Pakistani general, a failed field marshal, to lunch, he had the forethought to call Prime Minister Modi, and I think they had a long conversation. And from what we read from the readout, Prime Minister Modi also asserted India's sensitivities and interests. He is bound to. He is duty bound to. Like, you can't, play such a childish game like trying to get India and Pakistan in a competitive exercise. Who can serve American interests better? We were never in that game. Even in the Cold War, we chose to be non-aligned. So I don't see India entering that game at a stage when it is poised to become a great power. And a great power is not the 51st state of the United States. Canada may join the United States for all we know. But even Canada is bristling. Greenland is not prepared to come and join the United States. So how do you expect India to come and become the 51st state of the United States? I mean, you are not being realistic. Making America great again is fine, is a very noble ideal to strive for any leadership in the United States. But you cannot force the whole world to gang up against the United States because you feel you can do it alone, or you can go it alone. You will need friends, you will need allies, and especially if the United States wants to counter China, it needs two countries in Asia. That is a given. It needs India, it needs Japan, right? And if it chooses Pakistan, well, so be it, good luck. I think the only logical thing that will come from this kind of a over eager embrace of Pakistan at a time when the two countries are embroiled in a conflict, and there is one set of American values as far as the Iran-Israel equation is concerned, and another set of values as far as the India-Pakistan equation is concerned, then I'm sorry, we won't be part of it. We will not be hypocritical. If America wants to display its hypocrisy, well, that will not gel. Hypocrisy, as per the Christians, is the greatest sin. So I think we will have to take care of our own interest, and I think if that means going in for the the Russian Su-57 stealth fighter as a stopgap while our AMCA is developed over the next 3, 4, 5 years or more, well, I think India may just make that choice because America is leaving us no choice. But the simple fact is that there is a limit to which you can push India, especially by using Pakistan, an arch enemy, as a bargaining chip or a bargaining lever or a card, which could backfire with tragic results both for India and the United States.